Hello and welcome. This is Pastor Deborah, and it's story time in the Garden of Eden again. Everybody ready? Okay, everyone gather around. It's story time again with Pastor Deborah. Welcome, everyone. Everyone sit down and get your heart ready to receive. Everyone, get your listening ears on. Where's Wilbur? I'm right here. Can I sit next to you? Yes, come and join me. We're all ready now, Pastor Deborah. Great. Today's story is called The Blueprints of Creation. Everyone remember the one who was in the process of stepping out of his closet of loneliness, of being just one, and out into the vastness of nothingness? Can everyone remember all the different issues he was having before he stepped out into becoming a new life form from what he had been for his entire existence? Can anyone tell us what some of these were? He had to find some new clothes to put on. That is right. He had to put his shoes on. Yes, he did. Anything else? He had to really want to step out of his closet. Yes, dear one, he did. Pastor? Yes, little one. He had to see if he really loved what he was going to creating of. Yes, that is true. He surely did have to count the cost he would have to pay for being a creator, a father of life itself, the mother, the bond of all life to himself and to each other. And he had to know if his agape love was strong enough, courageous enough, was compassionate enough, tender enough, wise enough, forgiving enough, and finally, was it able to go the distance to a cross and take the legal punishment owed to his soon coming laws of sin and death that would be required by the laws of his soon coming kingdom? Wow, you guys have really been reading and listening. Great. Now to the story. The blueprints of creation. Where did this great one, even begin to design all of creation, all of life, the garden we are all in, a country that was created to be a kingdom, a government of laws, justice, courts, judgment, consequences for rebellion, the vastness of life, trees and flowers, creatures, light, forces that would hold everything together, lands of wilderness, deep levels of separation from agape love, hell itself. What kind of servants, ministers, ambassadors would be needed? What mechanisms would he use to bring forth life and its sting of rebellion, death? What mechanisms would be eternal and remain powerful? What would he use to bless his creations? Or what would happen to it if it strayed from him and his light? What would he have to do, be required to do by his own laws with those who rebel against him and his laws of his kingdom of life and light? The blueprints of creation had to be designed, reviewed, revised, approved before the building of creation could begin. First, he had to decide if he was going to be an ongoing creator, restoring and rebuilding as needed. Okay, I will have to be always working until I get what my heart desires. So, I will first have to have a heart and soul of a workman with patience and great self-control. Where do I begin? I must become the architect, the designer of creation. Now, where do I look within myself to find the blueprints of creation? Okay, I will look at my own heart and its imagination to design the blueprints of creation. In my own heart, there has been a vision, a picture of what all this looks like. In my dreams, my visions, I see what I have created in my own imagination. My imagination the place of pictures, words I think, forming into pictures. Then, with my eyes of eternity, eyes filled with agape love and hope, will I look and review my own imaginations, my own heart's desires. Through my mighty counsel with my wisdom, my own eternal spirit, my own thoughts, words I will design, test myself as the architect of all of creation. He knew he had to review completely all his plans and purposes for creation and all life. All of creation had to have its own unique purpose. Each creation would be a reflection of his own heart, his vast creative imaginations, and his love of beauty and wonder, the blueprint of creation. What kind of realms, places would he create? What would be the deep magic, the foundations of all creation? Would creation need a power source of life? What would he use? Would he need to create layers upon layers of creation? Where would he begin? What did he need to create first? He, through this self-review, knew he needed to be very organized, thoughtful, wise in all that he was to create. The blueprints of creation. They must be intricate, strong in foundation, eternal in existence. So this one now had to become a true and living designer, an architect, a builder, and then supplier of all the resources and materials necessary to create and to sustain all creations. The blueprints of creation also needed to have plans for restoration, recreation, and rebirth, because his foreknowledge of the future showed him that destruction and death would come into his creation, and he would have to watch as his creation became filled with another's name and essence. So he had to make plans for creations, recreations, to return everything back to the beginning as his heart originally desired. The blueprints for creation had to have built into them the plans of both the Alpha, the beginning, and Omega, the end. So the one now took on this new identity of the Alpha, the Creator, the beginning, the source of all, and the Omega, the end of all creation, the repairer of all, the restorer back to the beginning. So the one became the Alpha and the Omega. Remember, when one decides to evolve into a new life form with a new identity, one must be serious and be willing to step out, even by himself, into the vastness of nothingness alone. This one who had decided that one was a lonely number, sat down with his own imaginations, his visions, self-created pictures, and began creating creation itself. He took the time to design the blueprints for creation. That is the end of this story time in the garden with Pastor Deborah. Go in peace, and remember, all creation has blueprints for it and its purposes. And only the Creator, Alpha, knows the true purposes for each and every creature. For not one thing was created without its own unique purpose and place in the creation of life itself. So, all of creation must search out, find, and discover its purpose that was given it by the architect, all of creation. Now each one of us here today need to fully discover our own unique purpose that the Creator created each of us to be, to do, and how we fit into the blueprints of creation. So that ends this story. I hope everyone enjoyed it, learned much, and will come again to hear another story time in the garden with Pastor Deborah. Love always, and forever. Pastor Deborah.